do a great job this time. I'm going to record this. This is the last time I'm going to record this today. Got this. Hello, ladies. You might gather that this is probably my fifth or sixth attempt recording this particular section. When is this going to get easier? Today, I want to talk to you about wheat. I'm going to tell you a little story about myself first. I grew up eating wheat like most American children. I also had really bad stomach problems for my 20s and my 30s and the beginning of my 40s. I didn't realize that I had celiac disease until I was 40 when I was diagnosed. My discovery came about when I was postpartum with my first child, who was 2 years old and having all kinds of weird symptoms. We couldn't explain it. The child was anemic, even though he was eating liver. Now, anemia is one of the major symptoms of celiac, by the way. So we did an elimination diet with him. And as soon as we eliminated wheat, everything got better. Then we got genetic testing for both him and I and discovered that, yes, indeed, we have the celiac gene, both of us, the same one. So we've been gluten-free in this household for 10 years now, completely gluten-free. We did spend about 7 years being paleo, grain-free as well. I have a lot of experience with this topic and a lot of culinary experience as well in creating meals that are grain-free and gluten-free. And I also have the experience of the health benefits that both my son and I benefited from by eliminating wheat. I want to talk to you just really quick about some changes that happened most particularly in the last 150 years during our industrialized period of agriculture development. Humans began eating wheat about 1,200 years ago. It's relatively new to the human diet. Milling wheat for flour only became common in the 12th century. By the 19th century, wheat was one of the most significant crops grown for human consumption. And gluten is far more prevalent in our society today than it was just 100 years ago. Wheat is one of the most valuable food crops in the world, and it contributes to about a fifth of the total calories consumed by humans every year. We humans. Wheat is a major dietary staple and is widely used in processed foods. Celiac disease and gluten intolerance has seemed to come about rather suddenly here in the 20th and 21st century. So what's going on? Why are we having problems with wheat now? In the late 19th century, wheat production and consumption grew dramatically. New, hardier strains of wheat were developed. They were selectively bred on a global scale for higher yield, greater resistance to disease, and better taste. Industrialization of agriculture over the past 150 years has meant that selective breeding and industrialization of agriculture over the past 150 years has contributed to monoculture farming. All of those ancient varieties of grains that we used to consume have really been bred out. And now we have very few varieties that are being farmed. Why is that a problem? Why is the loss of genetic diversity in our farming practices an issue? It's an issue because when we have fewer varieties of a plant, it reduces the plant's ability to adapt, and it decreases their resilience to new diseases. In addition, herbicides and fungicides were used to eliminate competition. This impacted the health of the soil and changed the balance of the nutrients in our food. In the 1960s and 70s, wheat consumption began to be used extensively. People became concerned with heart disease and cholesterol, and whole wheat was seen as a remedy. Wheat consumption in the US saw another huge increase with the rise of fast food in the 1970s and 80s.